So the lesson here is like, when you have good thoughts, okay, and positive energy, and have this positive outlook on life, the chemicals in your body and that water in your brain, that changes, and everything, the world around you changes, okay. But when you're angry all the time, or anxious all the time, or any of these negative emotions, that also changes the chemicals in your body. It also changes the chemicals in your brain and the state of the water in your brain. But when you ignore all of these, it's even worse. This is when we end up with severe mental illnesses and stuff like that. And so, subconsciously we can ignore it. Subconsciously, unfortunately, it's not something that we notice. A lot of people, like, I was a very angry person as growing up, because I lived in a lot of violence. But you know being able to change the way you think and stop all of those anger and all of those chemicals and the bile that builds up in your system, that's it's quite difficult. But so long as you have in your mind that I'm going to do this, I want to do this, I can do this, then you know what, anything is possible. So again, as I say, bless the water, bless your food, bless every molecule around you. Just bless everything around you. Bless the day, because you know what, you are blessed to be here and to experience it. So be blessed. So writing and drawing, these have always been something that actually also have a very, very fundamental change in the chemicals within our brain. Okay, now, let's take for instance why the sacred geometry is used. This has an effect on the mind, on the brain, on the soul. So what I'd like you to start doing is, have look at that stuff as much as you can. Have it hanging on the wall. Get some tapestries or some canvas prints. Have some of that lying around. But what I want you to do mostly is, if you can draw, if you're artistically inclined, then start doing as many like pictures that are focused on love and giving and happiness. Okay, because when we do this, our body starts to feel that we are that. That is what we are. We are that form of happiness. We are that form of beauty, of love, of gratitude, of all the positive things that there are in the universe. So if you can't draw or you can't paint, maybe take it up, because you know what, it'll be a worthwhile skill to learn. But if you can't, I highly recommend writing. Okay, now don't worry about this if you don't feel like you're artistically inclined when it comes to writing, because you don't even have to write a full sentence. Okay, what I advise is just writing nice words, positive words. Do it in colorful pen, or do it in colorful paint, and just have it hanging around. Like, put these things up around your house so you can see them, so you read them all the time. So you know what, when you read these things and you say, I am, so I am love, I am gratitude, I am humble, I am a good person, I am all of the positive things that there are in the universe. Okay, so that's what you need to start believing in yourself, because guess what, you could be the most positive or the most negative person in the universe. It all depends on what you want to be. Okay, so my goal here is to help you be the most positive person in your universe. Okay, because we all live in our own bubbles and our own worlds, and so it's about being comfortable in that world. So yes, anyway, we'll move on. So I want to go back to gratitude again, and this is for everything. Okay, I want you to be grateful for everything, right? Everything and everyone and nothing at the same time. Okay, because, like, you know, let me give you a little example. Okay, you know, let's say you step on Lego. If you're a parent, yeah, done that, and everyone stepped on a bloody Lego. Right? Or if you bump your knee, stump your toe, you know, or you burn yourself on the oven or in the kettle or something small. You know, I'm not saying that there are certain things that we cannot be grateful for. I get that, right? But for the other little things, for those things that usually get you to go, ah, oh, effing out, you know what I mean? Those little things that get you to usually go, oh, you know, say thank you straight away. Say thank you so much, because guess what? Like, you are here and you just experienced that. You had the luxury of being able to feel that, like, you know, that little pang of pain, or that sensation. You have sensation. There are people in this world that don't have it. You know, paralyzed people, they stick a pin in their toe, they can't feel that. So be grateful for the fact that you've done that. I'll tell you a little story. My daughter, I say to her about being grateful for stuff, you know, like, she's getting to the point where she say thank you straight away, right? But, you know, she hurts herself, you know, bumps her knee or scrapes her knee or something, or catches her hand, you know. I said, did you say thank you? Oh, no. And when we're talking about it and having the conversation about why to be grateful for these little things, she says, so she asked me a question. She said to me, so if I break my arm or if I break my leg, I should say thank you. And I said, well, let's look at it like this. If you're in an accident that is really bad and you come out of it with either a broken arm or a broken leg or even both, yeah, you want to be very grateful for that, because things could have been a lot worse. So just look at it like that. Be grateful. And I promise you, like, if you're accident prone, then you know what, showing your gratitude for all of these little things and starting to notice, then you will start to notice more around you, right? This brings in awareness as well, okay, right? It's not just about showing gratitude, it's showing awareness for your surroundings, and it shows awareness that you are here to experience that. You know, we have a plethora of emotions and pains and all sorts of stuff that we go through in our life, okay, but we don't feel like we need to be grateful for those things. We don't feel like we need to be grateful for those things, but we do, okay? They do give us contrast, okay? We have good and bad things happening, great and terrible things happening to us all the time, you know, depending on our life, right? But things can, for the most part, always be worse. All right, I know there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, and so this is why we need to be grateful as well, because guess what, we take so much for granted, right? We take for granted the fact that, you know, look, I can do this and sit here in this beautiful little spot, quiet little spot with amazing people who are just having a lovely day and just walking and enjoying themselves. You know, look, there's no bombs dropping around my ears, no one trying to shoot me, you know, there's no dictators. Well, I don't want to go too far, but there's no real dictatorship going on, you know. So we are not, like, we're not having it as hard as a lot of people in this world. So let's just see it like that and say thank effing uck that we are here to experience this, and that we're not experiencing anything worse. So we'll move on anyway. So I'm trying for this to be kind of unstructured, okay? Because like, you know, I'm not going to be holding you fully accountable, right? I'm not going to be sending you messages every 2 minutes. You're not going to be getting loads of emails from me. This is not a way that what I'm doing here is not a way to try and get you to buy anything. I do have lots of stuff that you can, but it's not about that. This is about making you better in yourself and helping those around you, okay? So, you know, what I want to talk to you about next is switching up the routine as much as possible, right? So, like, we're going with unstructuring in order to restructure, okay? So, like, you know, it can be something as different, as small as, you know, not having your coffee at a certain time. If you have a routine that you do every single morning, it's almost like ritualistic, I'd like you to break it up a little bit, okay? Because what this does, like breaking routine unexpectedly as well, breaking routine, what this does, this starts to create new pathways in the brain, okay? Because you're changing what the brain's used to, okay? So this is what this course is about. This course is about flipping switches in your brain and stopping you being used to the kind of monotone sort of like day by day kind of life that we live. We just go like one day after the other, and life is just, it's the same thing every single day. So go a different route to the shop. If you go in and pick up the kids, take a different route. Maybe if you need to leave 5 minutes earlier, probably do so. If you only ever go to one coffee shop, at least change your order. Do something different, do tiny little things that are different, because we want to try and shake the brain and get the brain ready so it can start learning new things, and a lot quicker, because the brain is a supercomputer. Okay, now all this information I'm giving you is already out there. It's in the universe. You can tap into it, but it's also on the internet, and you can tap into it as well. There's a million people saying things that I'm saying, okay, but I'm not sure that all of them went through what I went through, what I went through that brought me to this point where I'm sitting here on Hammersmith Riverside talking to you and trying to help you make a huge change in your life within a very, very short space of time. Like, I'm not asking you to make breaks in your routine that are going to, don't forget to take your medicine or something like that. Don't shake your mind up like that, but just try to do tiny little different things, but just make sure that you are breaking it up enough that the brain starts to create these new pathways, because this will help you to learn a lot quicker. It will help you to be more creative, because those pathways, we have so many ways that we can possibly be. And when we are able to connect to ourselves and connect to the universe and connect to all of that information that is there, it's much easier for us to ingest and to actually put into practice, okay? Because a lot of people they kind of drop out of courses like this because they don't feel like they're strong enough to get through it. And that's ego talking. That is it could be, what it could be, if you're like always being praised about something and you're used to that praise, but there's one person in your life throughout your whole life that says one negative thing, that stuff's going to stick with you, right? Because our human minds, they like to focus on the bad, okay? Because the bad is fascinating, all right? The good, it just makes us feel good, but we focus on the bad. So where was me at? My son on the phone. Right, so yes, where were we actually? Give me a second. Yeah, we were up at switching up routines, weren't we? That's right. So yeah, so like I say, try and switch up as much as you can without it being too much of an effect, because I want this to start creating those new pathways for you. Okay, so anyway, next, I don't know if you've ever been standing in a queue, waiting for a coffee or, I don't know, a sandwich or something, and you're having a bit of a crappy day, and all of a sudden you end up with a free drink in your hand. I don't know how often it happens to you, but what I would like you to start doing is this thing that I love to do, okay? Right, now this is not to toot anyone's own horn or anything like that. It's just something nice to do because it creates a beautiful energy, okay, to everyone who walks out of that place, right? So one of my things that I like to do is if I'm in a coffee shop which I am quite regularly, I like a good cup of coffee. If I'm in a coffee shop, I like to let the queue build up a little bit while I'm making my order, and I like to whisper to the barista or whoever's on staff, whoever's serving me, preferably the manager, because you know what, they're more happy to do these things. But I like them to take everyone's order, you know, let 4 or 5, maybe it depends on how much money you've got, you know, but you know, I let 10 people build up. I'll spend 30 quid, 40 quid on coffee just to, you know, to see the, no, I don't get to see the smile, but this is the thing. So anyway, let the queue build up, and I whisper to the barista, you know, take their orders, but don't charge them. You know, get their orders in, put it all on one bill and charge me. Don't let them see you doing this, just make them think you're taking the orders, okay? Charge me for it. Don't let anyone know this is happening until I've left the building, okay? So that's what I like to do. So go in there, let a queue build up, and buy everyone a round of coffee, because I'm telling you, you don't know what kind of a day a person has had. They could have had the most crappiest morning, you know, and they get to their regular coffee shop, you know, maybe they're late or something, they're, you know, just having a bit of a bad one, and you know, they've got this guy holding up a queue a little bit, but you know, he's not being rude or anything. So then they get this free coffee, and they're like, what do you mean? That guy over there, the guy that left, he paid for everyone's coffee. Right, now this is going to create a nice little feeling inside them, okay? Right, and then they're going to take that with them. They're going to take that energy with them, okay? They're going to take that energy out into the world, and they're going to probably smile 20 or 30 times in the time where they get from the coffee shop to wherever they're going, you know, and they're going to carry that energy with them for a while, you know, and if their day has just got, doesn't matter, a tiny little bit better, you know. So just do things like that, you know. If you're in a takeaway or something, you know, and you see someone, just offer to buy their food, you know, just be nice and do nice things, okay? Another thing I'd like you to do as well is like, I'm sure that we are a nation of queuers, okay, patient queuers, although we do huff and we do puff and we do, you know, kiss our teeth and what have you know, because someone's holding up the queue. Guys, don't bloody rush around. Where you going? Like, you know, enjoy that moment to yourself, okay? Let people go in front of you. If you've got time, let people go in front of you. Let people, you know, let the mother with the 2 kids and the trolley full of shop, let her go in front of you. Let the old fella go in front of you, the old girl go in front of you. You know, if someone's got less items than you, if they got more items than you, sod it. Let them go in front of you. Because again, there's a little of energy that gets released. And it gets released by both of you, you know, because you're feeling good because you've just done a random stranger a little decent thing, and they feel good because this stranger has done something nice for them, you know. So pay it forward, even if it's never been paid to you. Still pay it forward as often as you can as well. I don't say don't break the bank, you know. Even if you buy one person a coffee, you know, yeah, do you know what, you don't even need to let a queue build up. Guess what, you know what, you can go in and get your own coffee and say, can I pay for 5 coffees? And if any of your customers, or you know any of your customers, you know, if you know they're having a bad day, tick one of those 5 coffees off or 10 coffees off and give it to them for free. You know, I've got coffee shops all over West London that do this for me. I'll you know, whenever I'm out, if I'm in a coffee shop, you know, I'll purchase a few coffees and I'll leave them, you know, obviously I don't get them to make them, but they have little they have little lists, a little list, and they mark them off one at a time, you know. So they've given one. Next time I see them, you know, I was like, have you gone through the list yet? And they're like, yeah, we finished. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's time for another round. So you know what, it does make us feel good, of course, and it's about that, but it's also about getting those chemicals to change in your body and getting your body used to those chemicals instead of the ones that when we do walk into this coffee shop, you know, with some of it, I ran coffee shops for years, so I know how it is in these places, okay? I know the stress of the customer coming in. I can feel the energy when they're coming up the road. I can feel it already on me. I can feel it, so I know, you know, that this is my opportunity to have a talk with them and to, you know, and to even buy them a coffee myself. You know, I'll just whack my own card on the machine. Boom, there you go, there's your coffee. This is what I would do when I was working. You know, police officers, nurses, anyone from the fire, anyone from the emergency services, they would come in, they would get free food and free drinks because I pay for it all, right? Because we've got to look after people, right? Especially those that are looking after us. So yeah, pay it forward as much as you can, guys. Go in, purchase a load of drinks, and leave them on a list to be given away. Right, because it will make somebody's day, and the energy will carry, and it will carry them home, it will carry them to work, and that energy will be shared with other people, you know. And then maybe, you know, what stuff like that does for as well, it actually helps small businesses as well, okay? So I want to tell you, right, if, you know, if the whole office knows that there's some random guy that goes in the shop once a week and buys, you know, a bunch of coffees for strangers he's never going to meet, that might help the small business, okay? So, you know, these people, they'll be like, oh, there's a chance of a free coffee today. So they go down there, when they get down there, the list is finished. But you know what, they might buy a coffee and a sandwich anyway, you know? And then they'll find, you know what, I like this little spot. This is going to be my spot from now on. And then guess what? We've created a little bit more economy for that business just by doing something. There's so many, like, you know, ways this can have a profound effect on other people by just doing something tiny. You know, if you can afford it, go and do something nice for somebody, because that energy will carry, and it will carry everywhere that person goes, and they will have that in their memory for a while. You know, if free coffee might seem insignificant, but, you know, somewhere down the line they're going to pay that forward as well, you know. So then that energy is going to keep on recirculating around and around and around. You know, we might only get, you know, let's say that we give 10 people a free coffee and only 3 of those people, you know, go off to do it again. You know, they might give 10 people, you know, and slowly it's going to build up, and it's going to also, again, is a possibility that it can add to the business of that shop. Right? If people think that there's a chance of a free food or a free drink, then they're going to go and support that business. You know, they'll get down there, oh, the list is done, or they might be lucky and get a coffee or a sandwich or something. Whatever I've paid for, whatever you've paid for, you know, whatever's there that has been prepaid and given to somebody, then, you know, yeah, the energy carries, man. And, you know, it's amazing to see. You know, so live life like that, guys. So, compliments. I want you to start giving everyone compliments, okay? Right, because again, what this does, this creates a beautiful energy, okay? This goes back to looking good and feeling good, yeah? Right? So, like, if you yourself personally look good and feel good, and then someone comes over to you and says, you know what, you're looking really well, you know? Like, that's going to make you feel even better. So, you know, when you're out and about, you know, whether it's a friend or a family, or whether it's a stranger with a nice pair of shoes or a nice dress or a nice t-shirt or something, you know, oh man, I like your shoes, or you know, I love those earrings, you know, oh, your nail varnish looks lovely, you know, just compliment people, because you know what, that's going to give them little burst of nice energy and a smile, and that chemical in their body is going to change. It's going to make them feel good. Okay, so then they're going to, you know, they're going to stand up a little bit higher, you know, they're going to put their chest out a bit more, and they're going to be more happier. Do you know what I mean? So, like, chins up, everyone happy, right? Because you know what, you've done a good thing and you've made someone feel good, right? Someone's feeling bad, you know, you perk them up. But you know what I want you to do as well is to look out for people to help. Okay, now I'm not saying, you know, you've got to go out and get someone and move them into your house to help them, right? But you know what, if you've done something like that, absolutely amazing, beautiful thing for you to do. but look out for people to help, and look out for people that you should be considerate of as well. Every single person in the world needs your consideration, okay? So, like, let's say you're on the bus or on the train, I want you to let everyone go in front of you. Just let everyone go in front of you, because guess what? That bus ain't going nowhere until everyone's on it, right? So don't push through and rush onto it. Let everyone go in front of you, and just watching human behavior in these circumstances. It's kind of mental, because like you can really see how like the kind of arrogance that we have when we're out and about and we're running around through life. Remember, you don't have to do anything, you get to do it. So it is your choice to go and work in the city. Let's say you got a 2-hour journey. That's your choice to do that. You don't have to do it, and so that means that you wouldn't have to be getting on trains and pushing past people or rushing past people and stuff like that. So let's have consideration and let's look out for each other. Okay, so we are we're walking down the road. Okay, what I tend to do, I'm looking a mile ahead of me all of the time, okay? Because what? Life is forward, life is that way, right? And when I'm going that way, I look ahead and I look around and I make sure that I don't get into people's way. I'm out of their way, because I clock them a mile down the road, and I'm maneuvering my body, I maneuver myself into a position where I'm not in their way, so they have a clear passage past me. Okay, right? So this goes for, especially, please guys, cyclists. I'm asking you guys to please, begging you, absolutely, on my bloody hands and knees, begging you to have some consideration of the road. Okay, it seems that about 85% of you guys out on the road on your push bikes are lethal, absolutely lethal, and you have no consideration. So I want you to start taking into account, 1, the dangers of the road, and 2, the fact that we're not in your way, it's the other way around. Okay, the same thing goes for us runners. Okay, if you're out and about and you're running, please don't push past people to keep your pace or anything like that, right? Like, you don't be in competition with yourself. All right, you don't need to be in competition with yourself and rush past people so you can keep a pace or a timing or anything like that. Slow down, stop, let everyone pass all the time. Be as considerate as you possibly can all of the time, because guess what? You will start finding that you are automatic in these kinds of positive decisions, right? You will find that, like I say, let's say, for instance, the smiling in the morning, the push-ups in the morning, the other morning rituals that I'm giving you, right? All of these things, they go towards helping you to have all of these behaviors as your autopilot. Okay, but this is also about being brand new every day. So I'm always going to be adding to the things that you should probably, if you don't want to do this, it's up to you, but the things that you should do in order to make these changes, because all of these constant changes are going to help you in the future with anything that you want help with, because they're going to help you with your decision making, with your creativity, with your work life, with your family life, and with your relationship with yourself. Okay, so all of these behaviors, as I promise you, eventually they will become your reality and your automatic, your go-to. It's going to change you so fundamentally. Just making these little tweaks, right, it's going to change you on such a fundamental level, right, I promise you. And if you start to do these, you will feel the difference, right, in just moving out of the way, in stopping for the people, in allowing people to go ahead of you, allowing people to get on with their lives, because guess what? We don't need to rush through ours. Okay, what I'm giving you is a 6 weeks or less process, but this is a lifelong process too, right? I'm giving you the tools to change in 6 weeks, but it takes the rest of your life to keep on changing. Okay, so we're moving on. So onto the diet then. Right, I recommend that you cut out sugar. Sugar is the enemy. Okay, and I want you to cut out as well. Sorry, I just had a mint. Yeah, so cut out sugar very, very, very now yesterday. Okay, because sugar is very, very bad for you, and it's, you know, it kills you, man. So, you know, it destroys your body. So only take the natural sugars that we get from our fruits and our vegetables and things like that. Okay, so also now wheat. Okay, the wheat that we have now is not the wheat we had 80 years ago, 100 years ago. Okay, it's been genetically modified to the point where, you know, it used to be, you know, towering over our heads to, you know, now it's now around our ankles. Okay, now this wheat is no good for you. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about wheat and what it does. Okay, everybody who eats wheat, okay, there's no one is immune here, right? So when you eat wheat, what it does, it nips at the intestine. Okay, now over the intestines you have like these two, like these layers. They're like kind of like, let's look at it like a cheesecloth kind of. And what happens when you eat wheat is it nips at this cheesecloth around your intestines. And so what happens eventually is, you know, you will start to find it, you have allergic reactions to certain foods, and this is where we get most of our allergies from. Okay, but our intestines being screwed. Okay, now when you cut out wheat and you do not take wheat, what happens, because the intestine, it repairs itself. Okay, it repairs itself, it keeps on repairing itself, it keeps on repairing itself. Every time you eat wheat, it keeps on repairing itself. Okay, but then one day, right, it's unable to repair itself. So then you start to get food allergies. Okay, now when you cut wheat out, this helps the intestine, the cheesecloth on the intestines, to actually repair itself. And like, let's say you're allergic to now, or you have a reaction to 25 out of 90 food groups. Okay, once you start to reduce your wheat and stop the wheat intake, and then you allow your body to heal itself, what happens is, as I say, it repairs, and then your negative reactions to these food groups, it starts to lower. Okay, so you get tested, like, let's say you get tested every 6 months. All right, so you go for your first one, it says, oh yeah, you've got allergies to all of these food groups. So you cut out the wheat, and you cut out the sugar, and you cut out the fats, and not all of the fats, of course, we need that stuff, you know, but, you know, fatty foods like takeaways and stuff like that, that's really bad for you. Okay, but because it takes over a week to digest that meal with all of that fat from your McDonald's or from your KFC or wherever it is. That fat takes over a week to digest in your system. So you want to kind of steer clear of that stuff. Okay, but yeah, back to the wheat again. Cut that out altogether, and after a while, when you have your next test, your tolerance for the, you know, your reactions to these food groups will have come down quite considerably. Or you might even find that you'll only have a reaction to, you know, like 5 or even 2 of those 90 food groups. Okay, so yes, take into account what you're eating all the time. Try to have as much water as you can, and get a good filter system. Get a good filter system for the water. Don't drink tap water. Don't drink bottled water. You're gonna want a decent filter for your water. Okay, copper bottles, so it ionizes the water. You drink out of those things. Yes, and so we're moving on. Right, so if you have heard of it or you haven't heard of it, like Ayurveda, look into Ayurveda, okay, and introduce whatever you can from that into your diet. Right, we want lots of green stuff. Okay, lots, as much green stuff as you can possibly get, because all the green stuff is the best. Okay, peppers are quite good for vitamin C. Get lots of fruit, lots of nuts and seeds like flax seeds and oh gosh, it's just literally just slipped my mind, and I'm sure it will come back to me anyway, but never mind. Yeah, it will come back to me. But seeds and mushrooms, as many different types of mushrooms as you want, as well as you can as well. If you don't like the taste of mushrooms, you can find online, I'm sure, in many places where they do like things like oyster mushrooms and lion's mane and things like that, and they do them in capsules. I think they're usually around it's usually around 150 milligrams or something. But the mushroom, these things, they still have the same effect on the body. Okay, so look into that. If you have any issues with that, then maybe, if you have any allergies to these kinds of things, then it's probably best not to do that. I just want to say that there, because not all of these foods are going to be beneficial for everybody. Okay, so it's very important to make sure first that you know what your tolerance levels to these foods are going to be. Okay, so I'm not giving medical advice, but it's just because of what we know, natural products, okay, they are the best things to have. So where fruits and vegetables are concerned, actually, I just want to sidestep real quick. Grow your own if you can. Okay, you can grow microgreens on your window ledge, man. You can grow medicine on your window ledge, okay, and not have to go to the doctors for your painkillers and stuff like that. Grow some medicine. Look into these things. You know what? Everything I'm talking about, all the subjects I'm talking about, I'm going to do some videos for you, so there is a breakdown, the benefits of certain fruits and vegetables, the benefits of the mushrooms, benefits of shilajit, sea moss, black seed oil, essential oils, and things like that. So I'm going to do breakdown of videos where I'm going to give you as much information as I can give you, about some of these products. Okay, I'm not going to try and sell them to you, right? I'm just going to recommend them to you so you can introduce them into your diet. Okay, I do have them to sell, but this is not what it's about. This is about you making a change in your life. And so diet, again, is going to be one of the things. And guys, while you're listening, do 10 more push-ups, please. Actually, do 20. We're moving on. So to bring down, it's going to be difficult to bring down the intake of fluoride, but try to do that as much as you can. Again, the water, don't drink their water, get your own and filter it and stuff. But I don't want you to buy this crappy toothpaste, the Colgates and stuff like that. Don't get any of that stuff, man. That's full of fluoride and it crystallizes in the pineal gland, okay? And this is why we're dense now, because they put fluoride in everything and they brought us down to 3D, right? And they blocked us all up here, right? So we ain't got no power no more, right? But this is about giving you back that power and taking back that power, okay? So decalcify yourself as much as you can, and get things that are going to help you to get parasites out of your body. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to make there's a cranberry thing that you do for your mouth. I'm going to make a video about that for you guys, and this will help to clear the parasites from your mouth, right? Because this whole thing is not just about getting this up here on the body and everything. We want everything to be in sync with itself, okay? So we want to get rid of all of the negative stuff that's in our body, and we're going to get all of that out through processes and through diet and through exercise and through practice and through everything I tell you. This is going to change you. It's going to have such a profound effect on you, Okay, so we're moving on. So we're moving from we're moving from food to fasting. Now, if you don't know what fasting is, then I'm going to make a video for you about that. Well, I'm sure you do know what fasting is, but I want you to start. Well, I don't want you to. I just recommend that you should begin fasting when you can. Okay, because I want to tell you a little story. Well, it's a very short story indeed. You don't need food or water to survive. Okay, your body is alkaline, so after a while, your body actually starts to create water. Okay, now the things that what kills us when we talk about hunger, when we talk about thirst, what kills us is our own mind, because we believe so fundamentally that we do need it all. Okay, but what fasting does, okay, fasting gives your body time to heal itself, because we're eating so much crap nowadays. Okay, so like, even if you are introducing all of these good things into your diet, it's still good idea to allow your body time to detoxify itself through practices such as fasting. Now, what I recommend start doing is just a day at a time. Okay, but when you are going to do this, I want you to set out your intentions. Okay, so I want you to tell your body, because I'm promising you, every single, your body is made up of 100 trillion cells. Okay, and inside those cells is 100 trillion atoms, and inside the atoms are there are electrons and neutrons, and then there's quarks and all sorts of stuff. All right, so but every single part of that, every single molecule in your body is listening to you. Okay, so this is, look, we know this because what we talked about with the change in the chemicals, with the change in the mood. Okay, so what happens with the body when you're fasting is it gets time to repair itself, and if you can fast I'm going to move this forward real quickly, but if you can get to the point where you can fast up to a month or 2 months at a time, okay, now this is very possible and doable, and it's done all the time, right? Well, when you get to this point, what happens is your body starts to create stem cells, and we know what stem cells do, don't we? Yes, they fix everything that needs fixing. So look, don't take you don't have to take my word for this. Everything that I'm telling you, you can go and research. Okay, you can just jump online. You've got the world of information at your fingertips. So everything I'm telling you, all right, it's all backed, it's all scientifically proven. Okay, and it's also something that's been done for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So you don't have to take my word for any of this, right? But I hope you do, and I hope that you're able to put it into practice. And of course, the whole point of this is changing your life forever. Okay, so it's all about mindset. It's all about treating the mind and the body right, and getting heart and brain cohesion. Okay, so anyway, yes, fasting. Start with a day, set out your intention, tell your body, this is what I'm doing, this is when I'm doing it, and this is how long I'm going to do it for. So then your body knows, and you have this internal clock, it starts. Okay, so you set yourself a time when you're going to be up and you're going to start doing your daily thing, so that your body knows. Okay, now have some fruit juice, like fresh fruit juice. If you've got a juicer at home, make yourself a fruit juice. Don't mix fruits and vegetables together, because the fruit ferments in the stomach. Okay, so just have a fruit juice, and maybe something with some vegetables a little later, but juices and water only. Okay, until the next day. Okay, don't break your fast in the evening. Go to sleep on that empty stomach, and when you wake up, have something very light. Okay, something very light, something that's not going to send you something that's not going to not something that's going to make you feel too crappy. Okay, so something very light. One of my students, she has she makes her own granola, so maybe look into doing stuff like that. You know, instead of buying these things in the stores that are full of sugar and chemicals and crap, make your own granola. I'm actually going to start doing that myself. That's a good idea. So anyway, we're moving on. So I know life can get busy and you know, things get hectic, but I want you to try and make a point of, even if you can get 5 or 10 minutes to yourself per day, to do that. No phones, okay, no interaction, no people, no nothing, just away on your own in a room with nothing, okay, no distractions, and just sit there and let your thoughts come and go and just be and appreciate that moment of peace and quiet. And the world doesn't exist, okay? The world, nobody in the whole world exists. It's just you in that room on your own, or in a nice, somewhere nice where you can be literally on your Jack Jones just for 10 minutes. Because, you know, if you can start doing this for 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, an hour a day, you'll feel a lot better for it, I promise you. And we're moving on. So, since I'm kind of almost out in nature, I mean, I have a river here and some nice greenery and flowers and trees and all sorts around me, but time in nature, I'm not talking about just your garden. If you can only get into your garden, then yes, but try and spend a couple of hours a week in nature, okay, and just be with it, enjoy it and thank it. I mean, you know, go and touch the trees and say thank you for growing, thank you for the air in my lungs, you know, thank you for, you know, providing some sort of beauty to this. You know, I mean, we are pretty much concrete too, so you know, it's just, it breaks it up and it's beautiful, you know, to spend time in the nature itself. You know, plus again, you know, it's a part of that healing process, because when you're with it, you know, when you're touching it, you're interacting with the planet that we're actually a part of. You know, we're plants ourselves. We're like, I don't know, very, like, I think we are like fungi or something. I read an article about it. Can't remember a lot of it, but it was yeah. Well, anyway, we're not staying with that. We're going to carry on. We're moving on. So we're just going to step back a couple of steps actually. I want to go back to the idea of exercising. Now, if you cannot exert yourself too much and do press-ups and things like that, then I would highly suggest, strongly suggest Tai Chi. Okay? Now, you don't have to go and buy a service. You don't have to go and join a class. You can actually, a lot of these things I'm telling you, you can get online for free, you know. You go to YouTube or one of these platforms that, you know, that where people put up their skill, you know, they show you, you've got weightlifters, you've got yoga teachers, meditation teachers, you've got a plethora across the board of people showing you what they knew. So, like, you know, have a look into Tai Chi, and if you're not overly able-bodied, just do the warm-up exercises for it. I promise you, like, you know, Tai Chi is based on slow movement. So if you do suffer from weight problems, then I promise you Tai Chi will absolutely help you shed pounds, and also it will help to tone up your body as well at the same time. Okay, so Tai Chi is one of my highest recommendations of things to do with your body. That and Wing Chun Kung Fu. Okay, these two things, mastering these two, you can never really master these things. You're still learning. A master's still learning every day. But when you can, like, you know, do these amazing things with your body, and these, you know, these martial arts, oh wow, they are amazing. You know, some of the things that you can actually do with your body, it's insane. So yes, I highly recommend taking up Tai Chi if you're able to do so. Okay, It's not something that's going to overexert you. You can do it. You can do it in. If you can't move around a lot with your legs, you can do it inside. Tape a square to the floor, and you can do it inside a square. Okay, so that way you're not moving too much, but you're still getting the movements that you're being taught. Whether you're in a class or whether you're watching it on the TV or on your phone or whatever. But yeah, so take up if you can, take up a martial art. Okay, it doesn't have to be Wing Chun, but Wing Chun is one of the best. I feel anyway. It has all the disciplines that go along with it, but also there is a defense for every type of movement towards your personal space. Okay, everything. I mean, look at what Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee or something like that, and then you can see exactly what Kung Fu can do. Okay, so so I highly recommend taking up a martial art if you can, especially Wing Chun and Tai Chi. The Tai Chi is absolutely amazing. It does amazing things for your body and your mind and your soul, which is of great importance. So we're moving on. So yes, moving on with the unstructured, restructured thing. We're stepping back again. Right, so I want to step back again with the nature. Okay, if you don't, because we don't always have these things close at hand. I took a 25-minute walk here today. It was such a beautiful day. I decided, I'm going to do this video for you guys, but I'm going to do it outside, and I'm going to do it by the river with life happening around us. And so I'd like, if you can, get some houseplants. If you have a garden, still get some. If you don't have them, get some houseplants, just so that you are around a little bit of nature all of the time. So when we're out, even if we're walking by someone's hedge, we're there. So you can give the hedge a pat and say hello and thank you again, for bringing some color to this street, for growing here, growing for us, because what, we put you there, you didn't ask to be there. Probably like to be off away from the side of a street and a gate, but because anyway, so get some house plants and interact with them and talk to them and play as much music as you can that is tuned to 432 hertz. Okay, because this is going to resonate with you, with your frequency, and it's also going to be beneficial for the plants and the animals as well, if you have any pets. So yes, anyway, moving on. Pets. I want to talk about pets. We know that our animals are the most amazing energy, and they give us their unconditional love. Maybe not cats, but like for the most part, they do. But so our pets, as much as taking out time for ourselves and time to spend with our family, it's to make a time for the pets as well, not just the walk or the odd messing about with them. I know they're not going to stay fully interested, probably, they might get bored in 2 minutes, but make the point of, in your mind, I'm going to go and spend time with Benji the dog, or just to actually, not like I say, not just taking him for a walk and that's your time, or but just actually making the point of being with them, because just like being with your loved ones, like hugging your loved ones, or seeing your best friend, what that does, it changes the heart field, okay, and it makes the heart field bigger. Okay, now I don't know if you know anything about fields, but we have a lot of different energy fields coming off of our body. Okay, now the heart field, that extends up to 3 meters. Okay, and that's only as far as we can measure. We don't know whether the heart field extends to 50 meters or whether it's connected around the whole world. We don't know whether it's all blending in together. We don't know that. But what this does, what is scientifically proven and tested, registrations of the movement of the heart field when we interact with our loved ones. So interact more with the loved ones, you know, tell them more that you love them, give them more hugs and more kisses and just more compliments and stuff like that, because the heart field, it gets bigger and the energy in our body changes. And you know, this is all scientifically proven. You can go and look it up for yourself. Okay, so it does make a huge difference, especially when we, like, because a lot of the time, you know, like when we you know, if we're walking past our partner, we give them a kiss on the head or something, you know, maybe you know, it's more probably subconscious, like, you know, it's just passing, it's just a quick reaction, you know what I mean? But when we're taking a moment to, when we're putting it into our mind to do these things, okay, we're making a conscious decision, you know, to do these things. It changes us. It does change us. It changes the chemicals in our body. And so anyway, we're moving on. We're almost done here anyway, until next time. So yes, moving on. So anyway, meditation. I'd like to talk to you about meditation now. If you don't already do it, I'm sure a lot of you already do some meditations, but take the opportunity to, if you don't know anything about it, to learn how to do it, because again, this helps to connect ourselves. It helps to gain brain and heart cohesion as well. Okay, so it's very important that when we're meditating, we set out our intentions for why we're meditating. We're not always going to be able to keep our mind focused on that thought alone, because guess what? Thoughts, they come and they go. We don't know where they come from. We don't know where they go to. But you know what? Let them zip through. Okay? Because, you know, if you like, I can do you a load of guided meditations. I don't want to structure it like this. This is what I'm talking about. I don't want to structure it like this. I don't want to bombard you with stuff. I just want you to have this video and a few other ones that are going to inform you on some of the stuff. But again, like I say, I don't want to bombard you, and I don't want to turn this into like a crazy course with tons of data to go through. Okay, right? I'm going to give you a few times some information for you to put into practice, and then you come back. We're going to have a once a week. We're going to have a recall, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about how you are progressing, how you are feeling, what you think you can change or what you can tweak. Because you know what, we can all learn from each other in this. You know, I'm already learning from some of my students, you know, so it's yeah, it's really, really cool. So anyway, moving on. No, we're not moving on, we're sticking with meditation. Sorry, I was just looking at my notes. But yes, so meditation, it's advised to do meditation 20 minutes a day. If you're too busy, an hour. Okay, there's no joke. Right, take time to meditate, all right, because we want brain and heart cohesion, and we want our mind to start thinking the thoughts that we want them to think, that we want it to think. Okay, now this helps because meditation, like let's say you're a creator like myself, all right, or like some of these amazing people that are out there, right, and you have a mind fog or just a block on what you're trying to do. A 10-minute meditation, you know, in your garden, that can be a very inspirational thing. It can help you break through the blocks, because you know what it does, it helps you to clear your mind. So let's start to clear our minds, our bodies and our souls with breath work. Now, like I said, I can do you a load of videos on meditation, or I can send you a load of videos on meditation, or I can just give you the, you know, go and study meditation. You know, YouTube it, find out. You can get, there's a ton of videos all over the internet. There's a ton of videos where you can access free information, guided meditations and intentions and mantras and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, the best mantra is I am love. All right, that's the best mantra. Okay, but as far as intentions go, try to have a different intention for each meditation, so then you have your meditations spaced out. You know, or be like Dr. Joe Dispenza, have a pre-meditation ritual, you know, because like when we wake up, you know, we've got that first 20 seconds or so where we're still in the sleep world and nothing worries us. Oh, we ain't got no worries on our mind, no bills to pay, none of this, none of that, none of this, and then bam, it hits us, right? And we've got the whole day ahead of us, and we've got all of these things, these meetings and this to do and that to do, and but don't forget, you get to do it. But yeah, so you can even have a pre-ritual for your meditation that will help you to clear your mind a little bit more. And so we can go into that a little bit more in depth another time. So yes, meditation, take the time to study it, take the time to put it into practice. If you ever need any help or need any inspiration for mantras or for guidance, just let me know. Okay, I am always here for you to contact me. Okay, if you have my number, which you probably do, if you're on the course, you have it. If you don't have it, you've always got my email as well, or any of the socials that I'm on. And so yes, I think we're going to leave it there for today, so I can actually go and enjoy some of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sun and the river, and probably go and get something to eat. But there's a few people, give me a second, there's a few people that I would like you to study some of their work. Okay, now some of these people, they talk a little bit of craziness, and so you don't have to listen to everything, but a majority of what they say, it makes sense. Okay, right, so I have Dr. Joe Dispenza. I just mentioned him. Right, that man, he literally saved my life, that guy. Right, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today making this video. I wouldn't be helping people to rewire their brains. I wouldn't be helping people with other aspects of their life and business. It was that man that saved it, really. So well, him and all of the studying that I done on neuroscience and all these other things, in order to try and figure out how to change the way I was thinking. But he was one of the key people that helped me to build the tools in order to start changing and tweaking. So I took some of his methods and I applied them to my own situation, and they got me on my journey to being here now. So anyway, I'd like you to also, if you haven't heard of him, Terence McKenna, I'm sure you have, okay, but have a listen to some of the things that he has to say, because you know what, he has spent a lot of time in and out of reality, okay, and so like he's not here with us anymore, yes, but because I'm going to be talking to you soon about psilocybin and mushrooms and the benefits of stuff like that, and CBD. Okay, so this is like just a pre-warning. You are going to hear about this stuff and about how much it benefits you, right? Taking microdosing and stuff like that, and the new pathways that's created through psilocybin, and the benefits of using CBD products and stuff like that for your body. Okay, so you will hear stuff like that. So have a look at Terence McKenna and listen to what he has to say, because he says some really fundamentally deep stuff about life and about reality and about our existence here and how we are and who we are and who we're not. So yeah, have a look at this guy and just take in some of what he says and appreciate the life that he lived as well, because if it wasn't for people like him, we probably wouldn't, we wouldn't have half the knowledge that we do on psilocybin and things like ayahuasca and things like that. I know that Mother Gaia is using us to get these medicines out into the world so we stop absolutely destroying the planet, but it's a slow process. And so the more we educate ourselves on these things, the better it's going to be for us, in ourselves, in our hearts, in our minds, and in the outside world and in the rest of the universe. So anyway, yeah, moving on, we're going to go next with Ram Dass. Now this guy, again, he's I'm not sure if you know him, but he's he was an absolutely amazing person, and you know, he talks much more deeply than I do on a lot of the subjects that I've touched upon today. But I'm going to go now, and so I'm not going to keep you much longer because this has been a long enough, I guess. But look up these few people, and so I have another list for you, but I want to keep it as light as I can because there's already a lot of steps here to take into account. Now, as I say, they might seem small, some of them might seem cliche. Absolutely, sir, take a seat. Some of them might seem small, some of them might seem cliche. Okay, but with all of these steps, okay, your life will change fundamentally, and the life of people around you will change. Now, unfortunately, what you might find is when you're making this transition from the person you were to the person you're going to be, unfortunately, sometimes you shed weight of people when this happens. Okay, so you might lose friends, you might even lose a partner, because what this does, this opens up your mind. Okay, and it opens up your mind to really being able to see what people are like. Now, if you study people for as long as I have, then you know, you will understand. You'll be able to read somebody's body language from across a packed club. Okay, and so, you know, this is quite important that you understand these things. So anyway, as I say, I'm not going to go on anymore. I'm going to let you get on with it. I hope you enjoy the course, guys, and I hope it changes your lives, because, you know, it changed mine, and hopefully it will change yours. Anything, oh gosh, lovely. So if you ever need to contact me, you ever need to talk to me, you have my numbers, you have all of my socials, and you have all of the details that you need. But most importantly, you have this course. So it's time to start rewiring your brain. I'll see you soon.